Hello, guys, welcome to UrbanTalks, and today we'll be talking about the Batman. Yes, the recently released Batman, played by Robert Pattinson, and what makes it unique. Why you should watch it? How is it different from all the other Batman movies which have been released in the recent past, like Nolan's Batman, Zack Snyder's Batman, and if you are a DC fan, then whether you should watch it or not. So let's jump to the discussion. It'll be more like a discussion because I have not planned anything. It's not scripted. I'm just making it impromptu. So I'll be analyzing the movie. So let's begin with that. First, I'm going to talk about how cleverly the production team and Matt Reeves made it worth watching. What they did is that they picked up the best scenarios from all the Batman movies or the DC movie, especially Watchmen, and how they collaborated and put the pieces together and made this unique, new rebooted this Batman series. So if you have watched Watchmen from by Zack Snyder, then you would definitely relate to its beginning and the end, because it begins like Rorschach journal. So Batman here is also writing a journal, and it's a narration going on in the beginning, and there is rain. Like whenever there is Rorschach in the movie, he is mostly be shown in under the rain, and in this movie rain scenes are very prominent. So that part I really liked it, how DC universe is keeping its feel real. Even in the Joker movie, rain had a prominent scene. So rain and clouds, rain, darkness has to do with DC, because that's why DC movies are more dark. They are shot in night. They are made to look very dull and raw and brutal. So but you can see the similarities from the Watchmen if you have watched it. If you have not watched it, then I would definitely recommend you to watch it. And secondly, there are some club fight scenes which are very similar to Nolan's scenes in Batman, the Dark Knight second part, where he's after Maroni, I think, and when he's fighting there. So uh, it's quite similar. You say, okay, similar scene is in Nolan's movie, and then when he's under the tunnel in Dark Knight Rises, when the Batman is underground in the tunnel, chasing, going to look for the Bane. So there are gunshots being fired at him, and then he's dodging them. So the light switches, the light impacting upon his movement is quite similar to what is seen in this movie as well, where he's fighting and the gunshots are being fired at the Battinson, and you can see the similarities going on. But what is not there, or what is unique, it's that the voice modulation is not there. Like in Ben Affleck Batman, there is a mechanical voice modulation which you can see when Alfred is checking it, doing that, keeping the mic as if something is there on the throat, to differentiate between Bruce Wayne and Batman. Similarly, in Nolan's Batman, it was done naturally by Christian Bale, and I think in the movie, in a YouTube video where I think the making of Batman, it is shown how he modulated his voice on his own, like I swear to God, swear to me, the way he says. So its modulation is there. So there's a difference between Batman's voice and Bruce Wayne's voice, but here it is not. There is no clear voice modulation in this movie. Secondly, there is no what do you say, flying or sky falling things. Only one scene where the Batman is seen to fall from that top building, which you can see in the trailer, but that's too with that, I don't know what that equipment is. So I think that's sky jumping, basically sky jumping parachute kind of thing he does with that. And there is no such technology where he is flying with his cape, and which is quite amazing to see that this Batman is an inexperienced and not a perfect Batman. Like I can say that Nolan's Batman was near to perfection because he had all the equipments, and it had a backstory. So we can come to later on. I'll come to that later on. But in this, it's more of an imperfect Batman. like he's becoming something, he's exploring something, and he's very young. He is not at all experienced. He's fighting, but he's getting beaten. Another thing which is not there, which is not there in the movie, is that there is no origin story in this. Origin as in how Batman, Bruce Wayne's parents die, and how he becomes everything, because it has already been shown in the past. We all know how Bruce Wayne became Batman. He falls into the cave, everything, blah 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 stuff. But it's not at all there, and I think it's a good part because we all know, and something which shall not be retold. So I think the production team and the director or whatever who came up with the idea, it's really good. I appreciate that they didn't include the origin story in this movie. So it straight away jumped after 2 years. In 2 years, after 2 years, when Bruce Wayne became Batman, so 2 years have been passed, and he's learning. He's just involved in himself, and he doesn't care about the world, what's going on. The movie is totally in dark, and even hardly you see any couple of scenes where there is daylight. Even the Bruce Wayne does not like the daylight. So it's very dark. I mean, the color combination of red and black has been used very frequently, so you can see that the color theme of the movie is black and red in most of the scenes. So it's very constant, and what they have done is it's middle of somewhere. It's not growing like young Bruce Wayne, child Bruce Wayne, young Bruce Wayne directly into that. It is Batman is there. He's working on a case. Things are chaotic. Things are worse than ever, and because it is shown the after Joker episode has already been done. So I think it's quite good, because again it's quite good because Joker movie of Joaquin Phoenix has already been released. So the chaos which it has created, it feels as if it has continued from that. All right, not its timeline will not match, but you can say that what Joker has done, again from Michael Keaton's time till Nolan's, and then Ben Affleck's Joker as well. This movie never shows Joker in the scene in the whole movie, but his impact is there. It is not like Joker is yet to come. Like in Nolan's Batman, Joker came in the second part. In the first part's end, it is shown that yes, that Joker will be coming in the next part. But here, it's from the middle. It's starting from the middle. Like the chaos created by Joker has done its work, and then Batman is trying to solve everything. He has taken the onus on himself, and he's doing everything in it. So that's what I like most about it, because the time frame of Bruce Wayne is less. Again, what is how it is different from the other movies, that the time frame of Bruce Wayne is less. No more official meetings, no playboy thing. There's nothing such thing as a playboy. Rachel is not there, because once the Catwoman is there, so Rachel's scene will not be there. That's what I have observed. So it's completely focused upon solving of a crime. It's a psychological thriller, and it's a mystery moving going on. There is a riddle to solve, and he has to find what's going on. But under the line, there are some things which go back again to his parents, because that is prominent in all the Batman movies, that something or the other is connected to his parents. So in this movie, it's more of political, power and government, how the government functions, the mafias, the gangs, what they did, and how Batman and Bruce Wayne should tackle it. So it's good. I mean, it's unique, it's refreshing that you will get to see something which you have never thought about it. So that's how, I mean, what in I guess in the Dark Knight Rises, if I remember, when Robin, that I think I don't remember his actual character name, but when Robin comes to meet Bruce Wayne and he talks about that orphanage, so similarly that portion has been taken in a bigger picture. So that orphanage thing plays an important role, how Thomas Wayne's dream, or what they call it, that policy regarding the orphans, backfires him, and what mistakes. It's like if you are trying to do good, what bad is coming around it, and people will not try to, people will not support you for the good things. So some things which Thomas Wayne did, are still leading, are still haunting Bruce Wayne. And being a Batman, Robert Pattinson, sorry, being a Batman, the Batman cannot see how Bruce Wayne is getting affected. So he's so busy in his, that journey, whatever you say, that he's trying to save Gotham, that he doesn't know that it all leads to his parents and to Bruce Wayne, and it's basically a circle going on and on him. So that is something very unique in this movie, which you have never ever seen before. Coming to next, I would say that again, it's dark, it's intense, similarly more dark. I mean, not similarly to any Batman movie, but it is really really dark and intense movie. The you know it makes you in an ambience. It is like you are in a box. The music will be there. When you'll be out of the hall, you will be humming that soundtrack, the background score in your mind. So it is something, not exploring Gotham, not exploring Batman background, not exploring Gordon's or anyone's character, because we all know that there is Selina Kyle and there is this Bruce Wayne. There is no character development. Penguin is there, Riddler is there, so the character development of a villain is there, only one. So that I would say that it's good. Also, something which I didn't expected or didn't appreciate, maybe it was that the theatrical entries like shown in Nolan's movie or in Ben Affleck movies, that Batman is flying from here and there. So those things you will not get to see. He is most of the time on his foot or bike, and sometimes in his Batmobile, and there are no flying on the roofs or every such kind of thing. There's nothing like that. So which I felt a little dull, because once you see Batman, you expect him to flying and using his wing cape, and flying towards buildings and everything, doing all that things which Nolan movie does. And even Batman versus Superman, it is amazing, and that I would say that choreography is not there. So yes, that's where it somewhat lags. And secondly, it's very purely detective movie. It's something, it doesn't talk about the love life. There is nothing romantic like in Nolan's movie, or in I don't think so Ben Affleck ever had such kind of thing. But there's nothing. It's very straight. It's purely detective. They are on a mission. They are trying to solve this riddle which is going on a case. They're working on a case. It has to do some things with political, and there are some underlining layers again, I would say. So no, nothing like a playboyish thing. He's not having a dual or a split personality. Like, yes, people know, okay, he's Bruce Wayne, he is a depressed person, maybe he rarely comes to the outings. So that's it. Nothing. How, what will people think, how he's doing in the papers, does it matter? No, he's an amateur. He is just learning things, writing journal, doing research work, which is hardly shown. I mean, I would say in all the Batman movies, not in the Nolan's Batman movie, there is a fox working for the technology things for Batman. But in this, there is no role of fox. So Batman is doing everything on his own. And Alfred, yes, the role of Alfred is very less. I didn't like it that much, because I was expecting more of Alfred, and Alfred has always been a favorite character, especially if I talk about Nolan's Alfred. So it's more like he is a fatherly figure. And yes, there are moments which are common which are common in all the Batman movies, that he gets very pinched whenever someone tries to become his father. So there is an emotions going on. He, whenever he see an orphan, he has something connected to them. So it's very good actually that we know, because the movie is made in that sense that what made him a Batman, and it plays on these emotions, that why he's feeling this, why he's having that numb eyes when he sees an orphan. So in that way it is good. And it's more related to the games which you all have played, Arkham City, Arkham Asylum, and Arkham Knight. It does give that look. The Gotham's feel is very similar to Nolan's Gotham feel in Batman Begins and in The Dark Knight, but I would say more like the first part of Batman Begins. So the setup is same, no grand shots like Nolan had, nothing. It's similar locations are being repeated, which I found it boring. They're going on the same rooftop. Yes, I mean, yeah, the rooftop would always be same, but the same angle again and again. I thought that the cinematography could have been much more better. In few scenes it's very grand, and it's something which you have already seen in the trailer. So I would say I was expecting more apart from that, because if you watch all the trailers, all those grand scenes are just that in the movie. Otherwise the movie is going, it's pacing, it's just going further and further and further. Nothing extra development is taking place. There could be some Easter eggs which I might have missed, which we'll reveal later on, but then again, it's a very, consider it as a detective story and a different take on a Batman. And then I would say you would have never expected that such kind of story would have been portrayed in front of you, because Riddler was, I think it's rebooting. They are rebooting it way back when it was made in Michael Keaton's time, because it had Joker, it had Riddler, and after that, Riddler was, it was never taken up. So I think one similarity is that while I was watching the Riddler's role in this, I found similarities of Riddler's thinking to that of the Jokers of Nolan's in The Dark Knight. So somewhere I think that Riddler is a psychopath in originality as per DC Comics, but Nolan made the Joker more like a Riddler, because he also plays games in The Dark Knight. He creates chaos and he does play games, because he never became a Joker from falling into the chemicals in the Ace Chemical Factory, whatever it was. So I think Nolan did a very good job, and now that Matt Reeves and this production team you know did a great thing, because they very cleverly portrayed Riddler, and you will find similarities because holding the camera and showing, going live on the TV. It was very similar from the Nolan's movie. So yes, I would say that there are club fight scenes which are similar. Then there are, I would say, club fight scenes in the Iceberg Lounge, which are very similar to Nolan's Batman. So the setup and the setup and everything which Nolan has created, Matt Reeves and the production team played very cleverly, and they didn't do anything out of that. They know that people loved Nolan's Batman. It was near perfection. Everything had a reason. His armor, his weapons, his technology and everything. So he cleverly created his version of Batman, keeping in mind that the Batman should be charismatic. He should have a attractive personality, unlike Ben Affleck's Batman, which is more like an old version of Batman, hefty, heavy, and he's just jealous of Superman. So that's again, I would say it is more like the creating a Justice League thing. Zack Snyder's was a Justice League thing going on. So in this, they have taken inspiration from Watchmen. I would again say Rorschach General and everything. I think I'm repeating this stuff again. So they have taken good parts from all the Batman and the director's perspective, and they have taken it and portrayed in a very unique way. So the Batman is learning, he's falling, he's rising at the same time, and he's not looking back, he's not staying back, he's just moving further and further. And in towards the end, when the movie is ending, it's definitely showing signs of having the second part or probably a third part as well. So it is shown again that Batman should be more about hope, that people should be seeing him as a hope, not as a vigilante or anything like a freak, which is there in all the movies. But then again, I would say the runtime of Batman was there. You will be seeing Batman constantly in every scene. It was purely Batman, Batman, Batman. And the Riddler, that's, yes, the riddles were good, but somewhere the movie it's stretched too long, maybe the scenes, or it's I would say, if you make a 3 hour or more than 2.5 hours movie, then only you can have the feel of a DC movie. So Zack Snyder does the same. Even Nolan played it very good when he was, if we talk about the runtime, he did a very good runtime of all the movies. But this, somewhere I feel it is a somewhere slightly. It goes a bit long, but then again, if you are a true fan, you will never feel it, because the sound or the background score, which is not as good as of Nolan's trilogy, but it's very limited. And you will see that every character has its own background score, and it is like fine. The main and the mainstream background score is awesome, so you will be humming it whenever you will be when you will be out of the hall after watching it. And so I think background score has a big role to play. So somewhere I felt that it didn't connect me that much even in the end, because Nolan's Batman trilogy always had that, something connecting. It was connecting with the audience, with the Batman, and with whole trilogy. So if you listen all those tracks now, you feel something else. They are totally motivating. So I think I have covered up a lot, yeah. And one thing was that there is lack of action. I mean, action scenes are less. I would have expected more. The choreography, as I say, it's more of a psychological, more about mind game. And we have already seen Batman fighting, so there was nothing much like that. Yes, the cape never had all those wings and everything. He was using this skyfall kind of thing. The parachute he used, he never really flew. And the equipments were limited, and there was nothing to be stylish. I would say Nolan's Batman is stylish. He has that classic, people are like, okay, that is something, the Batmobile and everything. So this is a kind of someone who has created his suit on his own, no help from Fox, and he's doing things, learning things on his own. But I really liked one thing, that he uses lenses which have a feature of recording things. So yes, there are some good elements in the movie as well. There is a different take of Selina Kyle and how it has connected with the integral part of the story. Also, yes, there is a hint of having Joker in the next part. So I hope we'll be having Joker in the next part. But to conclude, I would only say that I personally love Nolan's Batman because it's stylish, it's more theatrical, the entries are theatrical, it's more motivating, it's a complete movie, I would say. But this is something I never expected. I mean, this was surprising in a positive way. It's powerful, it has impact, and it is absolutely different from all these Marvel movies, for God's sake. They are totally different. I mean, DC movies, they make sense, they have a logic, they have this class struggle going on. So it's different. We can talk about that later on, how Marvel is best than DC, how DC is better than Marvel. So that's it. I guess I have covered all the points. Yes. So Riddler is basically a Joker and all stuff like that. So coming back now, if you are really planning to watch this movie, then watch it with with no expectations, with no comparison of with the previous Batman, especially of Nolan's, because if you start comparing things, then you will definitely keep Nolan's Batman above it. And everyone is saying that Alfred role is very short. I really loved him to see more, and maybe the choice is not that good. Rest the casting is really fine. I personally feel that Alfred could have been someone else, and the feel of the movie is very related to Victorian style. Comically, it's very good, and if you have played the games, yes, you will relate to it. And I would definitely love to see some more technology, some more weapons, some more style, some more action, basically choreography, and flying with all his cape like every Batman does. So that's it. I hope you like my review. It's imperfect, it's not so perfect, it's imperfect as the Batman in the movie is. So I'm also learning, even the Batman is also learning in the movie. So I hope you like the review. If you have anything to share, then you can comment down below. Also, do watch this movie if you're a true DC fan. All the best.